you guys ready? Thanks a lot. All yours. Okay. Hello. Hello. Okay, good morning. Thank you. I'm so little nervous. This is my first English preaching, or well, not really preaching, but a message. So I will try, with the help of the Holy Spirit, to give you a hope message, an encouraging message. So, little nervous. Father, I invite you to be here with me, Papa. I love you and we love you. We want more from you. And I invite you, Holy Spirit, to bring your truth, because your truth sets us free. And I praise you because you have been so good with me. And just by giving me this opportunity, you are fulfilling promises that you did a long time ago. And I praise you for that. And thank you because you're pleased with doing this, and for the blessings you have for all of us this morning. Thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Okay. I'm going to show you a little presentation. Okay. Okay. Is that okay there? Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, my name is Hyder. It's like something that can help you to recall. My name is Hyder. Okay. So Hyder. Okay. Hyder. So this is my family. They are really more beautiful than that. And then there's a screen. So the pastor already introduced them to you. We're from Colombia, South America, not Colombia, North America. Colombia, South America. I'm 44 years old. I've been married for 16 years with that lovely woman over there, Sonia. And I had a tremendous background. And then Jesus was chasing me. He was chasing me. And I have noticed that he's always been chasing us all around the world. But sometimes we didn't hear that he was chasing us. And we were, in my case, I was so stubborn to allow him to enter. And then we tried to look for him in a lot of bad or even good things, trying to find his love. And so I was a drug addict for 12 years. Because of my father was an alcoholic. He beat my mom, he mistreated her. There was a lot of wounding in my heart, a lot of rejection. I didn't know that unconsciously I began to look for my father. A lot of drugs, sexual immorality since I was a very kid. A lot of abuse coming against me, over me. Many ugly things. Even I was in a gang, stealing things and doing a lot of stuff. So one day somebody told me that somebody was looking for an employee. And this is amazing. It amazes me how God really works through excuses. He uses excuses. And then the job was for a friend of mine, but he was afraid of driving a car because he was going to be like, how do you call that in English? Like the mayordomo, the servant, the driver, the everything, the landlord, the helper, whatever. The chauffeur. And he was afraid that he told me, and I had just come out from a big party all the night, cocaine and all that stuff. And then he came to me and woke me up, like, hey, there's a job for you. And I said, oh, come on, man, I just came from a party. What is it? He said, he's with a Christian woman. And I said, no, come on, I don't like hallelujah's woman and evangelical stuff. And then he said, well, I don't know, but I'm afraid to go. I think he wasn't a Christian, of course. And he said, I think that job is for you. And I said, well, okay, I will go. So I climbed my mouth and everything. I got dressed and I took my CV to this woman. He was, or is, a tremendous intercessory prayer warrior, and she was a leader in an evangelical Christian congregation in my country, in my city. And then when I entered, I said, good morning, doctor. She's a bacteriologist. And I said, and she told me, I'm not waiting you, by the way. And I said, well, yes, but my friend, he doesn't drive very well, and he told me that the job perhaps is for me. Will you give me the chance? And then she said, okay, come in. She told me now that we are married, because she's like my spiritual mom in Colombia. And she told me, Hyder, when you enter, I could perceive your wickedness. Your wickedness, your iniquity, your sin smell. But at the same time, I had a perception in my spirit, like was telling me, there's something good here to do. There's some work to do. And then she, during the interview, the appointment there in her living room, then she would tell me a couple of times, wait a minute. She would go upstairs and pray and say, Father, I feel that there's something good in this boy or this man, young man, but I can smell the sin. And God told her, give the job to that boy, the young man, because I'm going to lift him up to do great things. So she obeyed the Lord. It was 19 years ago. The Lord set me free completely from drugs, alcohol, and all that stuff. And then he began a work of restoration. He began a work of restoration in my life. And when you taste good things, when you go to a good restaurant, you want to take everybody to that restaurant. And so when I tasted His favor, His grace, His love, then I said, wow, I want this for all the people around me. So I began to share the gospel with all the people. But I began to notice something interesting. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I began to notice that about this kind of title. If there's fruit, there's root. Why? What is it? Well, it's interesting to know that Jesus compares us in the Bible with many things. He compares us like a family, like soldiers, like many things. But one of the comparisons that I like the most is the comparisons that He do with us with trees. Trees. We are like a tree. And then a tree bears fruit. So I began to notice in my walk with the Lord Jesus that despite having been born again, having been saved, and I could feel all His love and His presence, and I was falling in love with Him, I began to notice some evil fruit still continuing in my life, being a Christian. I don't know if you've been there or if you know about anyone living there. That despite we're in love with the Lord, going to the church every Sunday and doing all the good things that the Bible tells us to do, there was still some things that really were difficult to get rid of. So I began to notice that I was struggling with a lot of evil thoughts, for example, in the sexual immorality. They would even go away if I was worshiping, I was looking immorality, and I said, what? Come on. Began to struggle. And then once in a while, I was stepping back to the old nature, and I said, hey, is this Christian life? Then began to be frustrated. I began to notice that I wasn't the only one. I began to notice that many Christians, really good, born-again Christians, they were praising the Lord, and even leaders, and they were struggling with evil stuff. I mean, perhaps not so evil, but negative fruits. I noticed that there were, for example, my brother Lemon. Good morning, bless you. Yeah. I began to notice, I said, well, that's not the fruit we're supposed to bear. I began to notice there were people trapped in sadness and traumas. That people were trapped in many ugly reactions, pride, selfishness, and many things. And I said, why are we as the children of God suffering and struggling with these negative fruits if the Bible clearly says that it's possible to be free indeed? So I began to confront myself. I began to say, hey, what is going on? Come on, am I crazy, Lord? This is a fake, or what is it? Because I read the Bible. I began to read the Bible, read it through from the beginning to the end. I started the Bible and said, it says that we can walk in authority. We can walk in dominion. We can really demonstrate God's power without being a freak or being an evangelical. We can really walk in dominion everywhere we go. So I don't know what's going on. So that produced in me a frustration for good. And I began to look for the principles that I was needing to really apply to my life, because I said, this is not enough just to be born again and that's it. I don't think so. I think there's more from God, and there's a destiny, a prophetic destiny. There's a mission that all of the children of God around the world must fulfill. And then I began to question myself. And I said, I want to stand speaking. What I speak can be current, is the word parallel with the things I live. Because, we speak more with the actions than with the words. Because it's very easy to talk about Jesus. But, oh yeah, I'm a Christian. I go to the church. I give my tithes. I applaud. I dance. I do this. I do this. Yeah, but then can show the people, you see, those Christians, ha! And you call yourself a Christian. So that's why God began to work in my life, and I began to be intentional about my process of restoration. And I understood something, that God never sets you free just for your comfort or your benefit. God sets you free to fulfill a purpose. That's it. So I began to notice, especially in my culture, there are many people that they lose the point. They are born again, they are happy, oh, now I'm safe, and I'm ready to, or either Jesus comes to take me up in the rapture, or I die and go to heaven, and that's it. And I said, no, that's not the way. I believe we can do far more for demonstrate His power. And then that's why my wife and I, we lead a restoration ministry. And we began to teach these biblical principles to the people, non-believers, unbelievers, to show them that there's a special gift, a present from God that was bought during a very expensive price was paid, Jesus' blood, and then it's already to everyone. But I noticed that in many congregations, and I don't know about you because I don't know your congregations in the United States, and I've never been outside, but I feel a special love. God has placed a special love for the English-speaking people. You know how did I learn English? That they did the English when I was 13 years old, even being a drug addict in a supernatural way. It's amazing. He did it. And of course, I use a little book called Basic English, but then I can now understand that it was the Holy Spirit who was teaching me and giving me the practical steps. I would go, for example, ridiculous steps, but He used them to teach me English. Being in a country that is difficult, it's not normal like here in Costa Rica to be speaking English all the time. So I would practice looking myself into a mirror, like moving the yes, of the word, things like that. I'm not joking about you, but it's the way you move your okay? But this is the way. I mean, really, for a Spanish speaker, if you don't move your tongue like that, it's not going to sound like English. You do it normally, but we need you to, oh yeah, okay. And then, so you know what God used? I would go to the cinema in my country was in that time. You could see 3 movies and repeat 2 other movies. Whole afternoon until 12 o'clock in a theater watching movies, American movies. And then I began to practice, so I learned Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. And then I began to practice Coco. My name is Coco. What I was practicing, that was the Holy Spirit telling me, use that practice. And I began to speak. In 10 months, I was speaking English. And I began to see American people outside the street, and I would telling them, speaking English and helping them, and they would say, wow, what are you doing here? Why don't you go to the United States? That was my complaining to God, because you never really understand your purposes. He had already given me English for a purpose. I was complaining because I didn't know Him. Why you give me an English and I can't even go to the United States? I'm just here working like a slave. And I was complaining all the time. But finally the day came when I got saved. And I got saved 3 months before a big earthquake. Almost destroyed, it destroyed almost 7% of my city. My house was destroyed. And it was 3 months before that I became saved. And then, January or February 1999, a group of North Americans came to help, Christian helpers. And then they said, we need an interpreter. And then the pastor of my boss told her, my boss told her pastor, by the way, my employee, my driver, he speaks English. But it was just a spiritual baby. And then the pastor said, please send it, we need it, because there was a lot of English-speaking people. So I came, and there was international press over there. They were doing interviews. They interviewed me, and they liked my English. And then that day, I felt the first impression of the Holy Spirit. That's when I gave you my English, to serve my people. Yes. And then I began to even speak words that I didn't know. I didn't have the biblical lexicus, the word. And then this guy have nothing with the Bible. I'm just a baby, spiritual baby. I was still having cocaine. I just got, it's a process. But I have accepted the Lord Jesus. And then he said, trust the Holy Spirit. I said, okay. And then he began to pray. And they mentioned things about the Bible, and they would flow out like the Holy Spirit. So that's what I'm hoping the Holy Spirit will do today. He can move. Okay, so I want to just give you an encouragement, just in case, because I don't know you, but just in case, because I have come to understand that it doesn't matter the culture. We are human beings created by Him. You have a spirit, a soul, and a body like me. Even if I'm Chinese, I look like a Chinese, but I'm not a Chinese. Somebody tell me, are you the cousin of Jackie Chan? Okay, but even my best friend is a British. He's from UK. My best friend, he's a guy who helped serve the Lord of my country for more than 20 years. I love him dearly. And then I love him too much dearly. And one day I was afraid of ministering to him or his family. And then God told me, they are human beings like you. Never allow the culture to stop you from doing what I'm calling you to do. So I believe you are like me. You are children of God. You have a spirit, a soul, and mind. And I know that God can just take away the cultural stuff, whether it's good or bad. We can take it away, and we can speak spirit to spirit. So I want to encourage you to check your life about what fruit are you bearing. Because this needs to confront us. We need, all of us, we need to be checking what fruit I'm bearing. Because that fruit determines if I'm walking in the right direction, if I'm not missing the best from God to us. And you know what's the best thing? That we can receive His love and express it to others and see others being set free by His love. So we teach these principles, and then it called my attention that in the Old Testament, for example, Psalm 1, he does this comparison with a tree. He said, blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on His law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. Okay, and then Jesus comes with a comparison in Matthew 7, 16 through 18, and He said, by their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. So He confronts him. Look, this used to be my old nature. I had hatreds in my heart against my father. I walked in denial for 12 years. Always when somebody spoke about an earthly father of a family, or especially a masculine authority figure like a father, I would say, I don't care. I just love my mom. I don't care. I don't care about father. I don't know where is that guy, because we had lost the connection with him. He was in another city, another state. And then always, and I didn't realize that I was walking in denial. I was walking in denial, and when I was fighting in the streets, I tried to demonstrate this harshness, but really inside there was a boy, and there was a child screaming, where is my papa? Where is my dad? And I would demonstrate with that face. You can see the eyes, hatred in my eyes. I was all the time like this, trying to intimidate, because that was a mechanism, a self-defense mechanism, trying to isolate people from me, because all of the pain that I had inside, all of the wrenching. And when I was fighting with a knife, I wasn't the brave, no, but just demonstrate. I would, oh, come on, but inside, I could feel this boy screaming, where is my papa? I need him. Where is he? But I didn't want to accept it. And it took me 12 years. 12 years of being in drugs and all this stuff, denying my pain, and escaping away with a lot of excuses in evil parties and all that stuff, and sexual immorality. But finally, when Jesus came, I understood that I needed to forgive, real biblical forgiveness. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes we know the theory, but we don't know the practice. And we know, we are to forgive. You're going to forgive. The Bible tells us we're It's difficult. It's a process. So we began to create a material, special material, that doesn't replace the Bible, of course. No book in the world can replace the Bible. But I took the principles systematically to help the people in the way that I was helping myself with the Holy Spirit. So that's why we created these seminars. Because we have noticed, always, it's the same. We've been teaching these seminars from 2012 in many congregations. To those congregations, it's open to the body of Christ and non-believers will come. All receive the same pattern. There's a lot, if not all, walking in tremendous areas that are not bearing good fruit. They are not bearing the fruit they are supposed to. And this is not to blame some of you if you are living that. That's up to you with the Holy Spirit if you can humble yourself today and say, well, what is the burden I'm bearing? What is the fruit I'm bearing? Am I walking like a real child of God? This is not to judge you or to condemn you. Because God never shows the truth to condemn. He always shows the truth to heal. To heal and to set free. So if it talks to be free indeed, truly free, it means that there's false freedom. There's a difference in being I don't know if the word applies in English, it's to be in abstinence than being real free. And I have seen many people in abstinence in the body of Christ. From many things. In abstinence, but not walking in freedom. To walk in freedom and real freedom means that you really go to the roots and you find no more with the symptoms, with the fruits. Because the fruits are fed by the roots. So I have found many people, even Christians or leaders, struggling and fighting the symptoms. Oh, this problem of anger that I have, and this problem of isolation, I'm still trapped in pornography, I'm still trapped in this, and I can't. And they are struggling. They're struggling the wrong way. They're fighting the wrong way. You get it, it's better, it's easier. Of course, difficult in the process, but if you go to the root, the symptoms will disappear. The fruits will disappear. That's what I needed to do. It has been proved clinical or medical that all addictions are connected to pain. If you can go to the root of your pain, you won't be free. So I needed to go. The addictions are a false medication to calm a little bit the pain you have. Any addiction, it could be something good like work. It could be something good like sport. And there are people addicted to sport. It could be anything. God created us dependent. And if we don't depend on Him, we're going to depend on anything. So if you don't find the comfort, the love, the peace in Him, you're going to try to look at unconsciously or consciously in many things. Evil or good things. That's Satan's trap. Because he knows that we will be distracted with our pain. And then we will be trying to heal the pain in the wrong way. And Jesus is expert in healing even the most deepest trauma. But it's necessary to do that. Well, a little bit more about fruit. Galatians 5:19-22, it talks about the fruit of the Spirit against the fruit of the flesh. So we're supposed, like a born-again Christian, to bear, as the Holy Spirit is now within us, we're supposed to bear all the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, kindness, etc. But it's sad to see many Christians cannot bear that fruit. They're struggling. They try to be a good person. They try to be nice. But then unconsciously something happens and then you see the real inside. Yeah? You see the reaction, even driving a car. Then you can see it in the church, and you oh my God, oh bless you, oh nice to meet you. And then they take the car, and then somebody finds it there and makes a mistake, and they go, and then the condemnation comes. Oh, I'm a Christian. What's going on? Oh, forgive me. Then the cycle. God wants to stop the cycle in you if you haven't. Go and He can do it. He wants you to go and see that cycle and just go to the root. But most of these reactions are proof even clinical. These reactions are from the past. And many have been wrongly taught says, never remember the past things, hey, I do anything. Yeah, that's true. I'm not denying the Bible, but they have missed the point. Because it's not talking about denial or just ignoring, oh, nothing happened. And there you are, feeling the reactions of that trauma. And then the other one is, for example, the key argument that many people use as a theology argument is 2 Corinthians 5:17. He who is in Christ is a new creation. All the new things are gone, and the past things have gone away. Something like that. That is true. But people haven't understood that what is new is your spirit. Your soul and your body need sanctification. It needs a process. You need restoration. So there are two ways that are biblical, and that you need to check the past. The past, we only see the past to heal it. We can't change it. We can't change the past. But you can heal it and then use it for testimony. Now I can speak about all my terrible traumas in front of even more than 200 people with joy, happy, opening, because there's no more pain and guilt. So I can look at it back, but just to share to others so they can understand, oh, if He was able, I can be set free. It's possible. You know, God is a God of truth. He doesn't want pretenders. He wants us to throw away the masks that in many occasions, most of us, we have them. I remember I was preaching. I was, in all this process, these 19 years being with Christ, I was a youth leader, youth pastor, worship team leader. I wasn't doing anything because I became addicted to ministry. Wow, is there an addiction to ministry? Yes. It's the same like a workaholic. You can change the thing. You know, and it's good to do things, it's good to serve God, yes, but in the right order. In the right order. But I was escaping my pain doing stuff in the church. I was escaping my pain doing serving the people. And you know what's the trap that Satan used? Is that he uses that because we are used by God, and the Holy Spirit touches people, we think everything is okay. We think, oh, God is using me. Look, I'm being blessed. And all the people respond. Hey, don't take it for granted. He does it because He loves people. And He uses it despite our condition. But He wants us to be honest and accept finally, I need to stop. I need to check my fruit. I need to check my past to see what's going on. Okay? So, breaking denial. So if you allow me, just in case, because I don't know you, just in case, this only happens in Colombia. Okay, just in case, I want to encourage you just to take a look with humility into your heart. It's just you and God. I won't embarrass you. I just wanted you to check, and if there's any denial, you can start the process of breaking denials because it takes a while. But you can start now. You can start to check and to really be confronted. And you know, Jesus is almost coming, ready. He's ready to come back. It's very soon. Yeah, very soon. So what if he's, for example, what if he's in September this year? Just a little thing. Are you going to continue your Christian life that way, if that's the case? I'm not sure. I want to do and receive the best, even in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, to enjoy what you can see. So never be in the comfort zone. There's more of God. Many people don't see the miracles that I have seen because they never try to do the things. You know, this is a slogan that I have. Dare to do. Let me organize it. Dare to do what you never have done, and you will see what you've never seen. But be right there with Him. So that's what I have seen. Lots of miracles. I have seen many things. The other day, 2 guys came to rob me with a knife. And I was coming from preaching the gospel in a farm far away, and I was so happy. I had with me a expensive guitar, and I was coming, thank you for all those people. It was 10 o'clock in the night, and I was going to take my bus. And I passed through a dark area, and then 2 boys like, hey guy, give me a coin. I know, they didn't have the knife already. And I said, a coin? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have. And they said, come on boy. And they took this knife. And then, of course, I wasn't so brave enough, and I wouldn't tell you, oh, I was super strict. My knees start to applaud. To clap hands. Clapping knees. But as I used to be a drug dealer and a thief, then the thief is waiting only for two answers. The thief is waiting that you react, and then they're gonna do the stuff, or that you escape in fear. But they never respect the third one, and the third one is the one that Jesus wants. Is the spiritual weapons. And then with my fear, I began, hey boys, I put my hands around there. And I said, boys, there's power in the blood of Christ. There's power in the blood of Christ. And they began to move the knife, and something was stopping it in my heart. Nothing happened. There's power in the blood of Christ, boys. There's power in the blood of Christ. And they began to look, perhaps an angel. But I didn't have the time to see it was Gabriel. But they were like scared, and they were like, come on, let's go. They only took my backpack, and there was only two things: my Bible in English and my Bible in Spanish. And they took it all. And then I began to chase it then. And like, hey, come on, Jesus set me free. I used to be like you. Jesus loves you. And all the people were, oh, that guy is crazy. He almost died, and now he's chasing them, talking about Jesus' love. And then it was, come on, you can be careful. And they were, get out of my way. And they were so. I'm trusting the Lord that one day in one of my seminars, I will find those two boys. I'm trusting that one day those boys will come to me and tell me, do you remember me? No. Okay, by the way, we have your Bibles. I trust because that's the God of power that we have. That's the God that uses excuses. So praise the Lord. Yeah. So I'm very passionate about seeing the things, this crazy thing. That's what He wants for you. He wants to use you to revive the Coco. So He's not really reviving evil stuff and crazy stuff. But He wants you to produce a revival, a spiritual revival, without being a freak. You can start to move just with your countenance and your walking. You can impact people. But you need to deal with your past. Why? So let me help you with breaking the ice. I want that you check this tree and think of it like your life. If one of these fruits, negative fruits, or two or three or many of them are in your life, you have issues to deal with the Holy Spirit. You need to work in a restoration process. So if you still have lack, abuse, rejection, loss, injustice, destruction, anger, fears, phobias, anxiety, hardness, addictions, disease, envy, jealousy, bitterness, sexual immorality, rebellion, victimization, or whatever any other negative fruit, you just check that with humility. If one of those are in your life, is in your life, you need healing. Because I'm going to show you that there are many roots to bear that cause that fruit, but there's a key one. So I just want to give thank you. Can you please put a little music in the background, please? Just a little music. I just want to let the Holy Spirit, because He convinces. He convinces. Because sometimes, the soul is ready to walk in the night, but the spirit is ready. The spirit always longs for the truth, always. But the soul is always in control. The soul is saying, I'm okay. Everything is right. I'm okay. So I want you in your heart, in your spirit, just ask the Holy Spirit. Just open your eyes and be honest with you and with Him. Is there any? I'm struggling with those fruits in my life. And just accept and say, well, yes, Father, I accept that. Even being a Christian for so many years, even being baptized, speaking in tongues, whatever, I'm still struggling with these. These things in my flesh are controlling me. And just be honest to Him, because He wants to set you free. So as I told you, there are many roots that produce negative fruits. But there's a main root, a key root, and that's it, unhealed as I told you, and your unhealed pain has to be with your past, most of the times. So what happened to you in the past? Because when there's unhealed pain, you really need to work through forgiveness issues. You really need to work through it in the best way, because Bible tells in Matthew 18, when Jesus told about this parable story about the king calling the people for the account things. This guy was getting 10,000, whatever, and the other 100, and he wouldn't forgive these, etc. I hope you remember the story. And then the king told him, it's the same way if you don't forgive from the bottom of your heart those who has caused you damage. Listen, there's a key there. It doesn't say if you forgive. It says if you forgive from the bottom of your heart. So there's a way that sometimes we forgive intellectually, and it doesn't produce the good fruit. You gotta forgive from the heart. And to forgive from the heart, you need to touch your emotional pain. You need to break denial. Sorry. You need to break denial and say, it really hurt me. It really hurt me. Yeah, it was painful. It was painful. It was painful, and I needed to come to the point when I forgave my father. Because even being a Christian, I had been already 1 year being a Christian, born again. And then my spiritual mom in Colombia came to this healing retreat. And she said, okay, now it's time to forgive. And I said, oh, okay, I don't have anyone to forgive. And she looked at me because she knew my story and said, Heider, what about your dad? And I said, my dad? Well, that, sir, I don't know what it's him. I don't miss him. And you can be totally honest that you are not feeling anything, but the pain is inside. Let me assure you, it really hurt. And then I said, oh, come on, doctor, well, I don't think so. He said, do the exercise. Do the exercise. And I said, okay, I'll do it. Okay, what do I have to do? Take a sheet of paper, go under that tree, just you and the Holy Spirit, and start to write, I forgive my dad for, and let the Holy Spirit to put the memories, and just release when you feel. Okay, that's easy. Then I went. And I said, anyway, I'll do it, but I know that I don't feel anything, because I don't know what is that guy. Always when a person talks about his parents like that guy, that business, that lady, you have a wound. You have a wound. And then I went and I said, okay, I forgive my dad for, and immediately I began to feel something coming up, like, I forgive my dad for, and immediately the Holy Spirit began to show me memories that have been buried deep inside my subconscious level, and they began to come, and my father would tell me, no money for sweets, for candies, my liquor. And then I began to, I forgive you that because you weren't for me, and I really was missing you. Yes, by the way, yeah, you hurt me. You weren't there for me. I was missing you. I was needing you. That's why many people mistreat me in the street. And I forgive you because you were mistreating my mom. I forgive you. And I began to write. Wow, it took me like 1 hour. And crying a lot. And when I finished, wow, that whole sheet of paper was touched by all the, every side, yeah, both sides, full of tears and many other things. And then when I finished, I felt this real load take off my shoulders. And I said, and she told me, you see? I said, yes. Well, you're right. I'm amazed. I thought that I didn't have anything. Yeah, that's all your soul. The soul is all one's soul is to pretend. It's okay. How are you? I'm fine. Almost getting divorced. I'm fine. How are you in your house? Everything is perfect. Oh, I love him dearly. So the soul always wants to pretend. So you need to be honest. So let's put the music, please. We're going to finish praying. I just want to ask the Holy Spirit to come to you, to show any issues that perhaps you need to go and work with Him. And to invite you for our next opportunity, because this year is the year in which God has told me to put all this package into English. So I hope you can, next time, you can have a seminar in English, the whole package. Because this is a package. It's a package of restoration that we need to go through if we really want to walk in authority. Otherwise, you're going to stay in the comfort zone and you're going to miss the best from God. So, Father, Holy Spirit, close your eyes not to get distracted. Just, Holy Spirit, I ask you to come. Would you come, Holy Spirit? You are the Father of truth. You promised that the Holy Spirit would lead us to truth. We don't want to continue walking in denial. We don't want to pretend that everything is fine. So I ask you to come into our house and show us, please. Would you bring to the surface the things that we have tried in our own strength to bury it or to bury or to try to get the things right or our own strength? Would you please show us our need? We don't want to resist you, Holy Spirit. We just want to be honest because you love us. You are not here to condemn us. You're here to show us the truth, to set us free. So will you come and you talk to Him? Talk to Him. If you want, you can open your mouth. If not, do it in your mind, but talk to Him. And just, if you are recognizing now, just be honest to Him and tell Him, you know, Father, this thing from the past still hurts. It still hurts. And I don't want to continue medicating my pain through evil or even good things. I want to allow you to be my healer. I want to allow you to come and embrace me and give me your love so I can start the process of forgiveness towards those that in the past damaged me. And if you want to start that process, it's a process. It takes time, but you can start it now. If you just say with His help, I forgive my dad or whoever the person that you feel you need to forgive or that God is showing you. You can start that process by saying, I forgive him. I forgive my mom for this, and such and this. I forgive those who mistreat me. Yeah, it really hurt. That was not good what my father did. No, it wasn't. Or if somebody molested you, you can say, yeah, that was wrong. And Jesus cried with you. And Jesus is saying, yes, my daughter, yes, my boy. That was an evil thing, what they did to do. You're right. That was an evil thing. And I cried with you. So you can start your healing. If you can say, I forgive them. And if you can express your emotions, just let it go. If you can leave your tears drop down, just let it go. And say, I forgive him. In the name of Jesus, I forgive him. I release them. I won't continue this track of bitterness. I won't continue trying to take revenge unconsciously. So Holy Spirit, thank you for what you have begun today in these lovely people. I praise you because you are a healer. You are an expert in healing wounds, traumas from the past. And I praise you for your healing power, your healing touch. I praise you because you can do it. You still heal hearts. So continue healing us. I pray for this lovely American congregation or Canadian congregation, this English-speaking congregation. I bless you with this restoration process, that you may start a process really more convinced from now on, and you really work through it with God's help, so you can bear the good fruit that He wants you to bear, so you can show to others His love, His power. So I bless you with this healing touch. I bless you with the beginning of a tremendous restoration deep inside for both your spirit, your soul, your body, and all your areas of your life. I bless you in the name of Jesus. Amen. opportunity. I bless you, and really it's very good to be in the surgery room with him. It's very good. It's painful, but really it's good. And let me tell you, a lot of traumas can be healed, and you can be what he wants you to be. Thank you so much.